I think I'm also going to, just like really quick, just to make sure that we get, or like have enough time for everyone, I'm just gonna like set a timer for like 10 minutes per person, and that should be pretty much good. But yeah, so cool. All right, have you extracted the thing? You have. All right, so we have, I guess just all your renders are just chilling here. Cool, that's pretty much what I asked for. Oh, damn it. Ooh, I did a thing. I made just like a random TIFF file because I got angry about the photo viewing thing, so. Beautiful. Open up this beautiful TIFF. All right, cool. So yeah, if anyone has any thoughts and comments on any of the, like the renders, lighting, scene composition, etc., feel free to just yell out with anything, again, that you like, don't like, things you think are cool, etc. Just kind of scrub through. Nice. Wait, so this was, all right, cool. So mostly, okay, cool. I still like the texture on this thing came out neat. And this was, you were going for like steampunk room? Yes. Sweet. Yeah, I think the lighting definitely came together since last time I saw this. I feel like
it came out really saturated, which I
really?
think is kind of interesting.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, compared to like how my render was, it looked
Okay.
lighter, but I'm not like complaining. I think it turned out cool.
Yeah. I was actually like, it doesn't look overly saturated to me, but I'm also like not sure what your original renders look like. I think the desk looks maybe oversaturated compared to everything else. But yeah, I mean, I think like, it feels like there's a cohesive like color scheme to most of the stuff in here. I think the stuff that like stands out the most to me is probably this like blue paper thing on the wall.
Yeah.
Where like everything else is sort of like hues of, or like brown colors, feels like a little bit older, and this, what actually is this? Like, what is this?
It's like part of a blueprint.
Yeah.
So I just thought that looked cool.
Fair. I feel like if there were other things in this style throughout the room, it might tie it in a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then what is this behind the window?
I just wanted a scene that would
Fair.
show up and look kind of nice. So
Okay.
it's like an ocean
Gotcha.
mountain thing.
I have no objection to like cool ocean mountain things. The angle of it seems a little weird, where it looks like the house is falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I mean, I do think it kind of fits with the rest of the themes in here. Again, mostly just for me, it's like the angle that's a little strange. But yeah. And I feel like maybe it feels like the walls could maybe use a little bit of texture as well.
I was thinking that I wasn't sure how to get like a paint texture.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Paint's always weird. So if you're just going for like generic wall like that, a lot of times I'll just throw like a real subtle tiny noise texture on it and be like, haha. If you're going for something like fancy wallpaper or something else, usually I'll just kind of like let the texture do whatever it's doing, and sometimes I'll add like little peels in there or like some little like seams in the wallpaper where they put the pieces together. But yeah. And I feel like, kind of, I guess similarly, I feel like the carpet could maybe use a little more fuzz. Also, is this door just like super tiny, or is it stretched in the render? It doesn't really matter to me either way, I'm just curious.
I think it's probably tinier.
Okay, because it...
I know, it felt normal when I was rendering, but...
Weird.
I know, it looks weird.
I mean, like, I have seen tiny doors like that. I would kind of buy it. I was just curious if that was like an intentional thing. But yeah. I like how the hat's just like chilling on the side of the table here. What, is this cloth material, or?
It was I like was looking up how to make like a cloth kind of velvety texture
Oh god, yeah.
online.
Velvet's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just did my best. This is also
Yeah.
The original chair was leathery, so
Okay, yeah.
I just did my best. I found like a a chair, like an old falling apart.
Yeah.
map.
Okay.
So I just put that on there, and I thought it looked nice.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say this definitely reads more like leather than cloth to me, I think.
Yeah, I think it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one thing, and this will be like a really easy thing, is this a separate piece on the inside?
No.
Okay. So one thing I might do is you can definitely see the faceting from the like low poly geometry.
Yeah.
Just grab all of these edges that look facety and just do a soften edge on them, and that would like pretty much get rid of any of that faceting.
Okay.
But yeah. Cool. What do other people think? Composition, lighting, etc.
I think
Thank you.
perhaps there's like a gold maroon and like gold maroon and that's it. And purple kind of like color scheme going on. For the wall texture. You could if you wanted to go super edgy, you could do like a really saturated like color scheme with the gold, maroon and purple for the background. Because I think it's a little bit bland in the sense that like if you think of steampunk you think out in your face. But like just with the wallpaper, it's like it's not like that, if that makes sense. So giving like a cohesive vibe, a more cohesive vibe, not that it isn't already, but more if you want to go that way.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I'm just figuring out. Have you seen the headset?
I have not.
Headphones?
Anyone see headphones? Also, can't
Maybe.
save my life.
There's that one right here.
Oh yeah, that's my headphones.
Cool.
I was like, whoa, what the heck?
All right.
Yep, those are my headphones.
Cool.
I think I actually just lost them. Oh, sorry.
Cool.
Sorry about that.
You're good. All right. So what were you saying, Annie? Or were you done?
There was that like a more cohesive vibe of the entire room, and if you want to kick it up to be more saturated or a little more cohesive look, it's just like bumping up all the other things to be as saturated as the desk or as desaturated as the wallpaper. And also the chair, if possible, can you apply the leather texture all around, or is it like I can't distinguish like the outer rings of the chair as to be like wood or something else that wouldn't be the leather itself. So those are my thoughts.
I definitely like the suggestions about like saturation and stuff. I do. Yeah. Like I think that'd be good. And also like probably like a fairly simple change to implement if you're already like fiddling with stuff anyway. I was thinking when you were saying like, oh, like do something cool with the wallpaper. I was like, what if it was black with like fancy gold embossing on it? But yeah. I think that looks like there might be like a teeny bit of like didn't quite hit the edge of the UVs up on this area of the chair.
So with that, I was trying to add, like trying to hit it, and then
Yeah.
it would, if I got like right to the edge, it would like bleed down into the rest of my model. So I was like, I'll just make it look like chip paint, or which doesn't read, and I don't really know how to do it. But I was like,
Gotcha.
that was my thought process.
Yeah. One thing you could maybe consider doing is just like, if it's bleeding down in the rest of the model, like just put like straight up like smudges or like actual like dirt grime there as a way to like camouflage that seam. Because I feel like if you're going like steampunky, like you have the leeway, I guess, to go a little bit dirty with it, or at least like weathered in certain areas. Also, make sure like this would be one area. I'm not sure what your UVs look like. If there's any way to like seam these together and wrap them, I think that would be good. Alternately, just like watch this is like stretched
Yeah.
very diamondy, whereas this is very square. But yeah, cool. And then I feel like the day and night lighting holds up pretty. Like it's like obvious which one is which. One thing, wait, I had a thought, which I completely forgot. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think overall, like, if you want to go back in and like make this maybe like really rustic and stuff, or like not rustic, that's a terrible word, but maybe a little more weathered in areas. I think that would be believable. Mostly like, I really like this copper area here. Some of these actually might be good, it looks like, to also, to also hit the, hit with the like soften edge tool. Because there's like a little bit of visible faceting. But I think like stuff like this, it stands out a little bit because it's like very clean in comparison with everything else, and like very sort of overtly metally.
Yeah, I think this was my partner's render, and what was happening was
Oh, okay.
I would put in one texture, and then another texture would go out somewhere else.
That's
in
weird.
The scene. It's like a project.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what was going on.
Well, all right then.
So it was a lot of like, I think there are more textures to it.
Right.
It's hard to tell when I don't have like the
Yeah.
rendered image, so
No, this is fair.
I was just trying to guess, but I'm sure if I go in and look for it,
Yeah.
I'll find it.
No, that's fair. It is always weird, like, swapping textures and stuff between people if you don't have, like, agreed upon naming conventions. But yeah. Cool. Any other questions or comments on this?
Pretty neat.
Sweet. Yeah, cool. All right. Anybody else need to, or like want to go next, or like need to leave early for a final? Wait, I can't see you from here. Who are you?
I just wanted to ask.
Gotcha. This is sad. What's your name again?
David.
David. Thank you. All right. Cool. All right, so, great. All right, 5 seconds, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to be organized at all. All right, cool. Let's paste in my wonderful, you've rendered everything to TIFFs, huzzah! Yay, all right, cool. And you were doing the classroom?
Yeah.
All right.
Science classroom. Old-timey science class.
Sweet. Any random like thoughts or comments before we start doing crit things?
I kind of wish I had actually put lights in the lanterns.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So any initial thoughts and comments on this?
I think the wood grain is really good, especially on the lab tables. Like it looks like segmented pieces of wood. In the first render and stuff.
This one?
Yeah. I like, yeah.
Yeah.
Good, nice and rough feeling to it.
I've seen pictures of them.
Yeah. I feel like if you wanted to, you could like. What map do you have on there for the wood texture? Because it is a nice, like, at least base texture for this.
I literally took wood texture and slapped it on there in Photoshop. That's about it.
Gotcha.
And just like made it. I was pretty much just like referencing like the actual wood table in my dorm room.
Gotcha.
The way the grain was like on the legs and on the table and like where it would move.
Yeah.
I just pretty much did it the exact way that it was on the table and chair.
Fair.
And it ended up looking really nice.
Sweet.
Just by coincidence.
Yeah, I think the legs hold up really nicely. Like, they look like really, like, nice, thick chunks of wood. If you wanted to push it a little bit farther, you could maybe throw in, not like a crazy bump map, but like maybe a very slight bump map, depending on, you know, the finish on this table. And then the other thing that you'll notice a lot, especially, I was like staring at a wood floor the other day, and I was like, wow, like look, or it was like a deck, and I was like, wow, look at all this like differences in roughness on the deck and the wood grain. Which sounds really stupid when I say it out loud, but like a lot of times the wood, like the more raised areas of wood will be worn down and be like a little bit glossier than the lower areas. So that's another thing you could think of. But yeah, I mean, I think the, it seems like the grain is like laying pretty nicely on the table. Alright. Anyone else?
In the first render again, there was a knocked over little pressure
More-
tub. I just thought that was
Pestle and mortar, yeah. I don't know what I don't know.
I think that's a really cute addition
Yeah.
to the detail.
I do like that. Also, for bonus life points that have nothing to do with your actual grade, if it's a mortar and pestle, which is the bowl and which is the stick? I have,
Good question, I don't know.
because
I think the bowl is the
pestle? Okay.
The smasher is the bowl.
Fantastic. I've literally just been calling it the stick the whole time. But yeah, no, I do. This kind of stuff is like always nice in renders.
In another render, you might be, there's the mortar is also going on the ground too.
Nice.
I think this would be interesting, but like, you know, this middle school kids or high school like people. I think like it would be interesting if you added like a lot of weird things that happen to the tables.
Yes.
And also the chairs. Because like people do like weird things. They like either lean back and they fall backwards, or
Right.
like if they're working with fire or like anything like warm and possibly can catch on fire, like it would be interesting to see charring on the sides of the table. Any like anything that's chipped or something, because like your renders are good, but also they're just like they look a little too perfect, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, you know, kids be kids, and also they're like kind of destructive sometimes.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if you showed that in like either like a little bit of variation within chairs, or like one table has a giant chart spot or something like that.
Yeah.
It would add a lot of character to the theater.
Someone carved their name to the table.
So what?
Someone carved their name.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. No, that kind of stuff is always fun. And I think like you've done a good job going through and like staggering the chairs so their positioning feels natural. One other thing that you can do, I could be wrong, but it looks like the tables more or less duplicate where it's like the same texture all the way back. So one thing that you can do to create a little bit more variation there without doing like whole custom textures is just like flipping some, going the other direction, just taking this top piece and just like flipping it over so you're seeing the underside of it. And that way you'll avoid any kind of like repeating texture stuff that might be happening. Also, it looks like the glass ended up black, or like these little.
Actually,
That's
yeah.
Or was, okay, gotcha. Sorry.
I think I actually did put
Huh.
the textures on it. Like,
Gotcha.
oh, that's what it was supposed to be.
Fair. I see your little floating mortar. Is there? What's it? It to me looks like there's a gap between the walls and the floor here.
Oh, that's the bevel.
Oh, okay.
Cop the-
Gotcha.
Push it into the floor.
Fair. But yeah, I think, and again, I think it seems like the difference between day and night lighting would be cool. If you wanted to go through and like you mentioned, wanting to put lights in the candles, like that would totally be cool looking, especially for the night renders. I think what I would do if you wanted to like push this further and or do a resubmit is kind of like Annie was saying, like add a little bit more variation to the tables and stuff, like maybe pick one or two and like really give them a story. Like again, was it burnt? Was it people carving their names in it? If you need a picture of like a charred piece of wood where like a hot thing was sitting on it and burnt a hole in it, I could get that for you, because I may have burned a hole in my parents' deck at one point. But yeah, so like story of the table, and then I think maybe try to like spice up the walls and stuff a little bit more, because I feel like if it's a classroom, there might be, again, I know it's like an old-timey classroom, but it seems like there would be maybe like some shelving units with like additional supplies or posters, diagrams, books, that kind of thing. And then also maybe do something with the floor. I'm not gonna lie, aesthetically I kind of like it white, but I feel like, especially old-timey, it might have been something maybe like tile, or it feels like a little bit too clean and too bland, if that makes sense. Like I can't really.
Maybe like simple like wood texture.
Yeah.
Like a wood type texture. Like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know like that middle school floor that's like kind of shiny and like this weird texture?
So it's like a
It's like
plain
this.
floor, but like shiny.
Yeah, like the sticky tiles.
Yeah, I tried to add that texture on it, but when I did, it just was huge, and I just didn't know how to fix that.
Gotcha. So that would be a thing where you could do more or less like one of two things. You could tile it manually in Photoshop if you wanted to, which is kind of Were you rendering this in Maya or Unity?
This is rendered in Maya.
Okay. So if you're in Maya, do you know where the, I really enjoy this angle, by the way, with the lighting. But do you know the like place 2D texture node when you add a file texture?
Yeah, I think so.
If you go in there's a button for repeat U and repeat V. If you up those numbers, it'll basically automatically tile your image for you. And effectively, in this case, it ends up shrinking it so you get smaller tiles.
Okay.
But yeah, it's probably like the easiest way to do that. But yeah. Cool. And then I think, again, like difference between day and night, it's like pretty obvious. I still think the night would look really cool. Yeah, like with the candles in here, it would be cool looking. But yeah. All right. Any other thoughts, comments, questions before we continue? Alrighty then. Anybody else want to volunteer their project?
I go, but you have to download. I just like have to submit more renders because like I didn't really enough time. So just download the black one.
Gotcha. I mean, I can do that at some point. Where? Dear God. I can at least start that download while it's doing other stuff. What's your name again?
Lucas,
Gotcha. Thank you. Oh, okay. Yeah. Huzzah. Huzzah. All right. All right. So while that's doing its thing, did you want to go?
Yeah.
Sweet. Wait. I just don't need this one. All right. Your GD.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm learning. It only takes me 10 weeks. It's okay. All right. And they're TIFFs. Haha. Okay.
Also, I thought I read that you need this in the turntable as well, so I put that down.
Yep. Yeah, I asked for whatever the latest turntable you had was, or if you updated stuff to re-render. All right. So any comments, etc., before we do crit? Cool. All right. So your space was a kitchen.
Yeah.
Cool.
In the city.
Yeah. All right. So anybody have any thoughts and comments looking at the renders?
I like the lighting a lot.
Yeah. It does.
I actually enjoy the night lighting. I prefer the night setting over the day.
Okay. So wait. Daylighting. I actually can't. I mean, there's like some sampling issues that are happening in the stove, obviously, but for some of them, I can't tell like a huge difference between night and day. I think I don't know. So where are your light sources in the day versus night lighting? I mean, obviously the window, but like, do you have?
The night I actually tried to put like a couple like blue pinkish lights outside, so you can kind of see like
Yeah, like in.
little tints on some of the more reflective objects.
Yeah.
Also, I did the lights that they're still on, but they're just not on as high.
Okay.
In the day, I have the lights like fully on and just sunlight, and it's circled and stuff that I didn't do.
Gotcha. Yes, I mean, I think I do like, you definitely got across like a sort of like moody lighting. I almost feel like the day or night, like it seems like maybe the day lighting could be a little brighter, or I think one thing that's throwing me off, what material were you going for on the walls here?
I guess like brick, like black bricks.
Okay.
Sort of.
Um,
They're kind of reflective.
yeah. So I mean, to me, so for one, the texture's a little low res. To me, it looks like cut marble slabs almost. Which definitely makes sense for the shininess. Like I totally buy that. I'm not sure if that's something that would normally be used on the walls of an apartment, which I think is throwing me off a little bit, but yeah. But yeah, I think if you want to do a resubmit, maybe push either the day. I'd probably honestly take the daylighting and make it a little bit brighter if it were me. What is it like? Does everyone else have thoughts on that, or?
Can't wait till we see the daylighting again.
Yeah. So here's night. What I didn't make hero. All right. So daylighting.
Yeah. Maybe if you make the window bigger, it could help a lot with natural lighting.
I can see that.
I like the floor,
Yeah, the floor is cool.
but
texturally, it probably makes more sense to leave the floor as is. But that's also just me. But yeah. This is a small thing, but I just. Oh God. I was looking at that. I'm like, oh, there's a thing in the microwave, and I like didn't even register that's a fork. My God. Beautiful. Oh, one thing that you could do is watch the texture on the time on the clock.
Yeah.
Because this seems really well. If it's winter, never mind. I would buy
Yeah.
this. Is
Maybe it's in the
It could be
winter.
7
Yeah.
a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
7 a.m. at
Yeah.
night. It could be 7 p.m. at night.
yes. Except on those like horrible winter days when it gets dark at like 5 p.m. and only gets light at like 9 a.m., which is awful. But what I was saying is, it looks like maybe another instance of the angle of the stuff in here seems maybe a little off. Where again, it kind of makes me feel like I'm like the whole room is like pitching backwards and like falling backwards a little bit because of the angle of these buildings. And it's also a little bit slightly. Well, I mean, okay, never mind. Mostly just. No, I guess same comment because this thing here. I do, for some reason I really like this. It like ties in interestingly with the color of the floor. It's like an interesting building. But yeah, and then, I mean again, like obviously watch samples. And I think were any of the appliances yours or they were all teammate stuff?
Most of the main, I made the trash can, but like the main appliance
Okay.
was like towards like that the other end of the room.
Right.
Was with teammates.
Okay. I was gonna say, so I have no idea what they look like in other people's scenes. In this case, I think it might be worth, again, if you're gonna do a resubmit, maybe twiddle with the texture, because like this feels really, really shiny, at least for this particular scene. Which is honestly one of those really annoying things about lighting, because half the time it's like, oh, this looks great.
I had that same dishwasher, but
Okay.
it was shiny in my scene.
Yeah.
Which is my setup, but
It's, I mean, it's,
it wasn't textured for me.
okay. It's entirely possible that like something got like twiddled while the file's being transferred, but like sometimes like honestly, just depending on where you put a particular object with like certain material attributes, it looks either really shiny or like a Lambert, and it's the most annoying thing ever. But in this case, I do think maybe a lot of the appliances look a little bit overly shiny. I do also like this texture makes sense, I think, in terms of orientation. I still like the plates. I don't know why. It's just like they have a nice feel to them, I think. And it looks like there's still like a little bit of black at the bottom of the glass, but it looks like it was much less than before. Yeah.
Because I have that also in my scene. It's fine. Like it doesn't show me.
Yeah. Which again, yeah, some of the stuff is just like weird transferring stuff, but cool. All right. But yeah, so I mean, I think for me, most of what I would maybe look into with this is just like tiny thing of like the angle of the stuff behind the window, and then maybe tweak either, for me, probably the daylighting, and then twiddle with the texture of the walls a little bit, because I feel like a lot of detail is lost in that. And the texture itself is also a little low res. So I mean, you probably have to like either tile that smaller or like find a new one or something like that anyway. But yeah. Any last thoughts or comments? Cool. All right. Anybody else want to volunteer their own project? Where's my cursor? Sweet. What is your initials? God, where's my mouse? Sorry. Aha. What? Where? That's super annoying. All right, sorry. My cursor apparently goes off the edge of my screen, which is not disconcerting at all. All right. KM?
Yeah.
Sweet. Hiya. Sweet. I appreciate the organization. Paste in my sweet tiff here. All right. All right, cool. So you've also, it looks like, done New York kitchen scene.
Yeah.
What?
I have some problem with the lights. So sometimes it's too dark and sometimes it's too bright. I fix that.
Okay. But I mean, did you just like temporarily remove your ceiling for some of these?
Yeah.
Okay,
Got the light stuff, but I'll take that recently.
gotcha. Fair.
Actually, wait. In the reflection, you can see the ceiling.
That's super weird.
Actually,
What?
that's the stone light stuff.
Ah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see now. Okay.
that's so weird. Wait, but wait.
It's a dome light, and then he has a picture in front. That's what I did as well.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is, that makes sense. Okay, so it's just a white dome light and then just like a giant picture.
Yeah,
Okay. That's a very weird effect. Interesting.
And because it's too bright, so maybe you cannot see the texture on the floor, but yeah, actually it is.
I can see them all.
Yeah, I can see it.
Maybe you can see it more clear in the first.
I mean, it definitely shows up
Were we
here.
supposed to circle what we did do or what we didn't do?
What you did not do.
Okay, I circled what I didn't do.
It's all good. If you want to just like either send me an email or something or drop a note. All right.
These are the nights, maybe too dark.
Yeah, a little bit dark. I can't. I will say I do very much enjoy like if you're going for like a minimalistic art sort of feel. Like it's interesting the way the light catches the edges of stuff, but yeah, it is maybe a little bit too dark. Is this a? What is this?
The reflection of the
TV. Okay. Yeah, I might lighten the night ones up a little bit. These feel like really dark. Which like, honestly, they feel realistic in terms of like I've walked downstairs and not turned any lights on, but yeah, I think.
But I have a question, like, why there is no shadow for the object?
I like the reflections of the sky on the chairs.
Yeah, that's neat. So wait, which reflections where though, you were saying?
I mean, why there is no, I cannot render the like strong shadow for the object. Like, for example, if there are lights coming from the windows, yet there is no shadow on the object.
Interesting. Yeah, so I'm looking at like the chair legs down here and it doesn't, yeah.
I mean, I want to render it, but just cannot, I don't know why.
So are you still using a, just a like dome light for this, like an unmapped dome light?
I think I add area lights
Okay.
from the window, but maybe it doesn't work.
Because, I mean, my thought would be maybe the light is just coming from a certain angle where, like, the shadows get lost in this shadow, was my thought, but then you'd still see something here. So it could just be doing it kind of like one of those weird things where it's just like the angle of the light isn't showing up, or it's like making really soft shadows even if you expect them to be harder. So you could always like play with the angle of the light and just see if you see any shadows showing up. If not, you can play with maybe like the size of the light, and also like smaller beams of light will have usually harder shadows than like very wide lights. So you could just like shrink your light down really tiny and then just like, again, check if you're just seeing any shadows. Would be my suggestion for that. I was gonna say if you were still using the unmapped dome light, a lot of times they'll pretty much just like obliterate shadows because of how the light source is. But yeah, this is a really neat sort of thing here, as was mentioned. But yeah, this is all right. The ceiling feels maybe a little shiny. It's kind of cool though. I think I might also, for some of these, like particularly for this render, it's a little dark, but also like most of the focus is on the background image, if that makes sense, rather than like the stuff that you modeled. So I might change. Not that this is like hurting anything being here. I'm just like, if this is like an extra render, I think it's totally fine. I was gonna say if this is like one of your 4 main renders, I might focus a little bit more on the objects themselves, if that makes sense. But yeah. All right. So anyone else? Ooh, I like that you went out of the way to show the back of the TV.
Yeah, I did
Nice.
some work on the back, but
Yeah.
usually it's just in the front.
Yeah. Cool. I like this little table nook over here. It's just something about it, like I would want to exist in that little space.
I mean, actually, I didn't make the table.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, how you set it up in the room, I think, is cute, and looks nice. Floating forks. But yeah, cool. All right. So anybody else have any? If you're gonna zoom in this close, it looks like maybe the texture on here breaks down a little bit in terms of resolution. But yeah, anybody else have any thoughts, comments?
I like the kind of aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little overly not more overly bright. If it's even if it's overly bright,
Yeah.
I still like what he was going for a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
One thing I was actually going to suggest, if you're looking for a way to make the space feel fuller, a part that doesn't involve like adding a bunch more objects to your scene, I do feel like this maybe could benefit from like a few more just sort of like things on the counter. But you can actually just like shrink the whole kitchen down a little bit because there's like a lot of sort of empty space in here. Where if you just sort of made the whole thing narrower, say maybe brought this wall over here, start it maybe like kind of here, and that way you'd have, in any one shot, you'd have like much more stuff just sort of showing up automatically in the scene. So that might be something to consider if you play with this in the future. But yeah.
Oh, and would you please take a look on the individual render in another folder? I mean, I would like to show you the
Oh yeah.
handle of the
Yes. Where's my mouse? All right, you wanted the which one?
I did this one.
Come on, Tiffin. This one?
Oh yeah, you just showing this on detail.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I quite like that. Is this what object is this for?
The refrigerator.
Fridge. Nice. Yeah, I like all the like screw details and stuff like that. Cool. It's a very like strange abstract render. But yeah, and then I feel like, I mean, now that I'm just like hanging out in here, I feel like maybe the pot. So how used is this kitchen? Is it like new kitchen? Like
He's just moving this apartment, so
okay.
yeah.
I was gonna say if this pan is supposed to be used, I might add some like grease stains or something like that on it, or like a little bit of like scratching or denting. I'm assuming the pan might be something he took with him. Again, kind of don't know. And then if there was any way, like it looks like the overall shape and stuff is good. Like you've gotten the little like rivets in the pan, that kind of stuff. If there was any way to lighten up the center of the pan, I think that would also be good. And that might be something, just like make it a little bit shiny and just add like a very, very slight bump map in here. The light would, catch the bumps in that and just help to sort of break up the black texture a little bit. But yeah. Cool. And then it'd be nice if these were like sitting on something instead of just like a white background. But yeah, I mean, the models themselves like certainly look nice. All right. Any other questions, comments before we continue? All right. And anybody want to volunteer their own objects? Cool. What are your initials?
DJV.
DJV. Thank you. Where am I going? Oh. All right. So that was. Okay. Show me. Sweet. I still can't believe that the computer will like process things if you put in TIFFs first. All right, cool. So I guess I'll just look at your day renders and then night renders. Do you have any comments before we go into stuff?
Some minor texturing issues on this stuff that I didn't create myself, but that's just some minor stuff.
Cool. I think you did the stoves, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
The stove in the oven.
I do think that you got a nice sort of look for that brushed metal texture. A little bit of stretching here, but like overall, like that.
Yeah, I was
Totally
like,
reads to
I was
me.
like twiddling with it.
Yeah.
Good like 2 hours, like,
Yeah.
like the day after peak. So yeah.
No.
I think all I did was stretch the UVs more. That's and just adjusted it.
Nice.
Later. That's all I did.
Nah, UV or brushed metal is always like a hot nightmare
There was
to
actually
do.
some sophomores talking about it, and I wanted to put my little 2 cents in. And I'm like, I'm still a freshman.
What were they saying? Just like, how do we do
They're
brushed
like,
metal?
"Oh,
Like,
you brush texture like stat. I was like,
nice. But yeah, cool. All right. Is your faucet floating?
No, it should be. I think. Oh wow. Yeah, definitely.
Perhaps something to look at
Yeah.
in
The
the
runner was so
future.
far away. 'Cause there's like a little base thing. On
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
Around the.
Probably just like
bit.
gotten
Yeah.
hidden or something.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, cool. All right, so any thoughts and comments on this? This circle is, I assume, just this little mat here.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a nice mat.
Yeah, it's a cutting board.
Yeah.
And then if you have a question what that little thing in the corner is, it's a knife rack. So.
Weird. Okay.
'Cause I was looking at pictures of like knife racks, and they're like all really weirdly shaped for some reason.
It is true. Just for
Like there's one that's like a wave coming out of like the table. It's so weird.
yeah. So I'm just gonna. Sorry, I have to tangent really quick because you're talking about weird knife racks, but like, yeah, there's like
yeah,
a whole lot of
you know
them.
what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
just so weird.
No, knife racks are insanely bizarre. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, no, I mean, I think like overall, like this looks pretty nice, complete. It's interesting seeing like the differences. So we looked at all the kitchen ones in a row, seeing like the different sort of approaches people have taken to make the same space with the same models. But yeah, cool. So any thoughts and comments from the peanut gallery? Do I need to call? This is super trippy and reflective and terrifying.
Yeah. This is, yeah.
I do like the super crazy reflective terrifying thing. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, that's
Where
I
you
was
are
wondering that. I
insane.
was just like, just see the outside, and that's all you gotta know.
Yeah.
Just to give some context for lighting.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it's also something, I'm like, there's this really bright highlight here, which I actually really like because it does a nice job showing off like the texture of the counter versus the cutting board on it. So I think that's like actually really cool. I just like don't see anything that looks like it's casting that light anywhere else, like out here. So I'm
What do you mean?
like, for this I would expect to see like a really bright like sun in the sky or something like that.
I don't know. I guess my HDRI.
Yeah, it's just like doing something. Again, minor thing. I'm just like weird thing I just noticed, but yeah. All right, check out your night renders real quick. I do love that these are all TIFFs. Does make my life much easier. All right, cool. All right.
That's just.
Oh, nice.
lights.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It looks like you pretty much got that working.
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
I looked it up. It's really simple. You just click opaque off.
Oh yeah, for the is that why it was not showing up with the lighting?
like
Okay,
the
yeah,
last
yeah, yeah.
round bit, and then,
Yeah.
just click opaque off.
Are you rendering with Arnold or Redshift, I take it?
Yeah, Arnold.
Gotcha. Yeah, Arnold's done with that. No, I think this totally reads as a light. Like I've seen light fixtures look like this. You, I think, did a good job on the texture of it. Yeah, cool.
I don't think that one's floating. Just that.
Yeah, what? This one's is
Not
not, is
floating.
it? That's bizarre. It totally is.
Wait, it is.
Sorry. Honestly, that's like a really tiny floating thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I was resizing this thing a little bit to make it fit the counter.
mhm.
Because it was like, because I had to fit the dishwasher in the fridge.
Ah.
My counter was originally a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was trying to shrink it down a little bit.
Gotcha. Last minute changes made floating sinks.
Yep.
It's okay. But yeah, I mean, like, I think overall this looks pretty nice. I like the sort of, I like the direction you took with the like darker cabinets with the white accents, or like little metal accents.
That's what the texture is like.
Yeah. No,
Which what my teammate gave me. It's just that for some reason I had to like not re-UV it, but like reorganize it. So
Weird.
That was just a small thing.
Gotcha. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I think overall the scene looks nice. It seems like a believable space. There's like, the texture on the outside of, not the outside of the microwave, but like the texture on whatever the outside of this is to me stands out.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like because I was thinking of having the microwave on it.
Actually, what happened to the
Yeah, no, that was like one of the problems.
what happened to the clock thing on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to like read that. But
Gotcha.
when I was putting the microwave on top of the stove, I mean on top of the oven, I was thinking it's like this doesn't make sense because it's gonna overheat.
I could resimulate the.
That's probably
And so
true.
I was like, because I've seen things how like
Yeah.
people have like spots specifically for the microwave and like
Yeah.
I just thought it would make more sense since having the microwave touch the oven.
No,
directly
that's
wouldn't be a good idea.
probably a fair point.
Yeah.
It does feel maybe a little weird having it hanging out right on top of the oven. Honestly, I didn't notice it at first, but yeah.
I mean, I didn't really have a lot of space.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I mean, like, I think, like, overall, I still think this is, like, looks really nice. Yeah, you were definitely right where this feels like a reasonable level of shininess where it's just, like, not,
I think
yeah.
maybe it's just my lighting. I don't know.
it's honestly, it's just, like, a whole combination of stuff that'll do that. It's not uncommon for that to happen at all. Like, I texture something in one scene, I put it in another one, and I have to, like, redo all of the textures. Very annoying. But yeah, no, I mean, I think you also did a good job of, like, condensing the space where it feels like there's not, you have cutting boards and stuff, and there's like a few sort of like additional like things in the space, but it's not a whole lot of extra stuff, but it still feels like a functional like used space where there's like a lot of visual interest. I think the daylighting looks really nice, honestly.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you have like really nice shadows and stuff coming in. They do a good job.
I already had like an idea of a lot of macro light for my scene.
Yeah.
So I just like having like half window, half wall.
Mhm. Yeah. I think the biggest things for me in this would be, I keep looking at this, I really like the shininess. It looks metal to me, like the top of this. Or was it supposed to be?
Wood. It's like a shiny wood, I think.
Okay.
I don't know, it's not my object, so I don't know what they were going for.
Gotcha. Yeah, something about how the texture reads in your scene like looks metal, which I don't know if that's what you were going for or not. Well, you said it wasn't yours, but yeah. And then I would also, these guys were yours, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would watch the texture stretching in here, because that's like, I think it's like one of the few places where the textures are like noticeably strange. And since the doors are open, you do actually like see that, especially in this particular render.
Okay.
But yeah. I mean, I have, other than that, like, not a whole lot of stuff I'd be like, you should go back in and, like, tweak this. It's nice texture on the walls, by the way.
Yeah, it's just like kind of I looked at a plaster type
Yeah.
of thing.
Feels like plaster.
I made the UV super like small.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it wasn't overly like distracting, but you can still kind of see it in the renders.
Yeah.
Especially in the light render, like up
Yeah.
on the light, you can see it on the ceiling a lot.
Mm. But yeah. No, I mean, I think, like, looks nice. Anyone else have any thoughts or comments? Cool. Yeah, that feels like solid scene. All right. Seems like the consensus is this looks nice. So, anybody else want to volunteer their project?
If mine downloaded, I guess.
Sure. Oh yeah, yeah, it did. Sweet. We have a basement scene, I think, somewhere. Aha, extract. Extract better, dang it. Sweet. Paste in my...
I guess I started, I don't know, the washout. Oh, that works for me.
This one?
That one before works good. That's my favorite object here.
Cool. So this was like the old bunker, yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, so any thoughts and comments on these guys? Spaghetti.
I like the atmosphere a lot.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of that, I forgot what No. Well, yeah, the gas mask reminds me of Metro, but there's like that one game where like you have to get your family into the bunker before like a timer, and then like you have to survive in the bunker for however long. It's a really weird game.
Oh, I think I know.
Yeah, we have to run around and grab the stuff. Yeah, yeah. That reminds me directly from it. But I like the atmosphere a lot, and the lighting too. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, these lights are like really sweet looking. Like,
Like the fog as well.
yeah.
Like the dustiness.
What exactly is this? Just what exactly did you do for these lights? Because I've been like,
It was a process. Well, I finally, I did, so at first I was having just the atmosphere with like warm colored lights, like area lights, and
Yeah.
then just the mesh lights inside, like the little coils
yeah.
inside the glass and mesh lights. But it was just getting this really bad like warm overcast, but I
Right.
still wanted to like see the warm, so I changed the lights to not warm, but like the fog color to warm,
Hmm.
and then turned up the attenuation a lot. And
Gotcha.
then the attenuation color to warm, so
Right.
the warm lights would be streamlined.
Interesting. It comes across like, yeah. I really, it's a neat light design, and yeah, like the fog does look really nice. You've used it well to like highlight your object, and like even though a lot of the front stuff from your objects falls into shadow, like you get that nice sort of like rim lighting around the side.
Also, the bed looks really cool.
The bed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like this thing?
Yeah, I like the. I'm guessing there's like a displacement map on there. Or
It's just on that.
is it? Okay. Yeah, it looks.
Yeah.
I ran into like a lot of issues. Like the renders were really, really long.
I
And,
believe
like,
it.
I would get like an hour in, and then something would come up on the side and it would be a Lambert. And I'd be like, oh, and I would go back. So like,
Next time, let it render and then just render like
yeah, I know.
that one object.
Like I have a
but
couple
yeah.
here where like it's not Lambert, but like it's just not the right texture for some reason. Like
Yeah.
It's some, like background object, and it just frustrates me. But I just I had to roll with it.
Yeah. Also, I like that this thing now features prominently in a render. I. It is a World War I gas
Yeah,
mask,
it's
you
a really
said?
old roll
Oh,
gas
wow.
mask, like a British one. Really.
I saw it in the background of one of the renders, and I'm just like, I left a note. I'm like, what the heck is this thing? It looked like a skin mask, just like chilling in the background. But yeah, I think like this render in particular, like you have like a lot of really nice detail here on the bats and stuff, where like the light is shining on it nicely.
The whatever.
Gramophone?
Player,
Um,
I like the just the lighting on it.
Yeah.
Like the texture on it. I mean, I can't really see there. It looks too much there, but I like the
Yeah.
how the light hits the texture on it.
I concur. But yeah, I think this like, and this is like obviously a night lighting, but I think maybe something like I almost want to see like more light back here or something. Like it feels like the main stuff that you see is like the inside of the gramophone for this. And then just like the highlight here, which I do like, and then like the cans up here stand out, kind of weird because they're like one of the brightest things in the scene. So I really like this angle, and I do also still like how the light is like on the gramophone and the grenades. I'm almost wondering like if you really like this angle, I might like throw in just like an extra cheat light somewhere just to get like a little bit, just for this one render, like a little bit of extra light somewhere. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, I think overall, like, this stuff looks really nice. Like, the pipes in the background, were they yours or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say everything we've seen so far in the render is mine. 'Cause it was only Maggie and I.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. But yeah, so I mean, like, I think the texture on these looks really nice, like, where you've taken that care to, like, go in and have that, like, little file, like, scraped away parts near the joints and stuff. I also really like, did you literally just, like, punch this hole in the wall?
Yeah, I did.
Dear God. That's, wow. It looks really nice. Doing that kind of stuff is awful. Is this, out of curiosity, did you smooth your walls after, or is this just like a low poly?
That's smooth, yeah. I'm gonna be honest, the displacement map on the brick texture helped me out a little bit.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I can see that. I'm still just like, for some reason I still just like never use displacement maps, but yeah, I mean like I think the hole is like a weirdly nice touch. I don't know why, it's just like,
I put it because I've done all this work in this back room with all these pipes.
And you
I was
don't
like-
see it.
And I was like, you're never gonna see this.
Yeah.
Through that little door. So like I put a wall, like a hole.
it's a solid decision. I actually kind of want to see. I would almost want to see like brick crumbs or something like down here, like just like a little pile of brick
I started with
pieces.
it, and then it was just I was like UVing everyone, like.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, I don't know.
No, doing that stuff is, it is a pain. But yeah, I mean, like I think overall, like it seems like everything in this scene is like pretty well refined and like has a good number of maps on it. Like this pipe here, like it has like a really nice sort of broken up specular highlight. It seems like everything looks pretty cohesive. There's not like one thing I look at, I'm like, it doesn't really fit with this scene. Also cool. I feel like maybe this placement gets a little bit hairy in here.
Yeah, very much so. I didn't like. This is one of those things I didn't realize like.
Yeah.
Until the whole render was done.
Yep.
And I was like, oh.
Not worth it to re-render. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Okay, like not that bad. Like,
Yeah. It's a little hairy. I think like it over here and like yeah, oh yeah. No, like
just like level off.
yeah, no, most definitely. There's like some areas that definitely hold up in here. I think like just right around this opening things get like a little weird. Say again?
It looks like it's being like it's transcending. It's like it's ascending kind of
Like
a
magnetic sand.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
That's what I was going for.
Because I think
This is
like,
neat.
your scene overall is just like it's so creepy.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great creepy vibe.
Yeah.
I think you really got the cohesive look of like it's a guy. Who is this person? Are they crazy? Are they
This guy,
insane?
he's a little wild. I
Or
guess.
what happened to the hole? What's the story behind that?
I don't know.
He was
I think it's like super cool in which like
Yeah.
it's either this guy has cooked himself into for like years upon years, or it's like it's a place that he returns to like he's just like the apocalypse is coming and when all of you are like drinking Starbucks, I will be down in the bunker safe. So I think like overall it's like you have so many imperfections like the majority of your objects and it's like super good. So
yeah. I've also just chosen interesting render angles. I think before I like move on really quick, I think like one thing I might look at if you do resubmit, like the spam cans look really nice. These guys are a bit shiny.
He just restocked them.
Nice. But I still feel like they're a little shiny, even if they're like paper labels. But I still like the variety of like all of the stuff, and you've rotated them so they look, natural. And then I think something about, I don't know what it is. To me, the crates really stand out in all the renders that they're in. I think.
Yeah, yes. Well, they were really, really dark. So then
Yeah.
I just like brightened them up a tiny bit, and then they were the brightest thing in the world.
Right, right. I think maybe adding a little bit of wear, maybe making them slightly darker would be good. But like overall, I do think that this is like a really, really successful space. The texturing and all the models look really great. Still really enjoying those lights, but yeah, cool stuff. I also like the wine barrels in the back, or like whatever barrels these are.
Yeah, yeah.
They look cool. The way they catch the light is nice.
Where, like, see that lock machine in the back? How it's totally weird texture now. Like
I was
the
wondering
color
about
render,
that.
It just kept changing on me. Like I would render new one and do this, and I like.
That's very weird.
So I had another one where like it's the right texture, like that green and bronze thing.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know why the texture would flicker. That's strange, but yeah, good stuff. Any last comments before we continue?
How do you do the edge of people? The detail of the edge of
Oh, like in here?
No, I mean on the wall.
Oh, in here.
Like
When
how-
you were the rendering before. Yeah, this place.
I just
How do you do the
like this part. Just like modeled it. I just like went in with a lot of edge loops and just deleted stuff. I don't know. I just kind of moved around vertices until I got like a shape and deleted and bridged across and
That sounds about right.
added a lot of edge loops and yeah.
looks really
It went through a lot of processes. Like I had it horrible, and then I had to I had to ask Maggie like, does this look better? She's like, no, like it needs to be sharper. And then I finally got there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, had you asked me about the hole, I would have said just like leave that one wall low poly and just boolean a hole out, because that is a whole lot of extra work.
On that, right?
Yeah. Alright. But yeah, cool. Anything else? Alright. Anyone else want to volunteer their own projects? Cool. Ferris, thank you. I'm also like not wearing my glasses, so I straight up just like can't see anyone. We did, okay. Ah. Oh, yeah. It is like 8 million degrees in this room right now.
Also,
Hmm?
I rendered my files as TIFFs, like I set the settings to TIFF, but it came out as JPG. Is that fine?
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like I knew.
how did you render it?
I checked settings like 3 times and it still came out as JPG.
That's bizarre. Yeah, what the heck? That's fine.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, just not listening to what you said.
I mean, yeah, I mean, strictly speaking, like, PNGs are probably better, or, like, TIFFs are better, but, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the computer saves stupidly. I like these little whatever, squiggly things you added to this. Looks neat. Alright, so you were doing low poly and steampunk room? Okay. I see you found a new wall texture
No.
with bows. Is it? Okay.
I just, it's, because of the floor, how I did it is that, like, UV map the whole thing, and I just, like, exported the image, and then I, like, smashed off some parts.
Mm.
So the wall texture was really, like, low quality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I did what you said, where it was, I took the texture and repeated it, like, 10 times on the wall. So it's just a high
Sweet.
quality.
It works. I actually didn't recognize, I just recognized it as, like, it's not fuzzy anymore.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Alright, cool. So thoughts and comments on anything in the scene? You, like, outline them really hardcore. Looks nice. Alright, so,
The floor looks a little like the model, like the
like this top-down,
No, the I'm doing brain cells right now. The texture looks a little too big. Unless that's
Yeah.
what you're trying to go for. I mean, I just thought it was nice to like that. I don't know, because it's kind of old though, so like there's, I guess, wood tiling and looking around, so yeah.
it does, I would say maybe it does look a little large. It's also slightly low res, so shrinking that, again, just a little bit would also make it feel better scale, but also, like, again, help with the low res stuff, but, yeah.
I also like the gun.
Yeah. I think this is a neat render. I like,
Nice little atmosphere.
yeah. This one maybe gets a little bit hard to see.
Yeah, it was redder in the
Say again?
It was redder in the render view. So
Mm. Gotcha.
Like how in,
hmm?
on your screen, I can see like the red reflect off the, I don't know, like the way that the light hits it.
Yeah, like on, like,
Kinda
here and
vibrates.
stuff. Yeah.
That vibrates, like, it's vibrant.
Yeah, everything looks better on my screen,
Yeah.
just for the record. But yeah.
And like how it kind of like reflects off the monocle.
Mhm. Yeah. No, you do get like again like an interesting little sort of rim light here. I think this, if you rotated this gun a little bit, I like the angle that it's at, which is again easier to see on my computer, but if you rotated it slightly, maybe like shifted it around, you'd also get like another interesting highlight on there that would sort of maybe help sell this particular view a little better without so much stuff going into blackness. Yeah, I think the book looks cool. What's the texture on the side of the book actually?
just paper, like, that I haven't touched my comp. It's just like a book.
Okay. Oh, is it one of those? Okay, yeah.
But it has like individual pages.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I can't see them, but like that could also just be because it's a tiny render. But yeah. One thing I'd suggest for the lighting, I assume that this coil is just like a little mesh light.
It's the mesh light, but also not the actual like object inside of it is
Mm.
the actual helix I made, and then
Yeah.
I put a more sheet of it to kind of get like
You can.
That line, just so like you know how you can see the filament glow like orange as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wanted to that.
Gotcha. One thing I usually suggest with mesh lights is you can do a thing where, if you ever, because like a lot of times if you make the light bright enough where it actually does something useful in your scene, it gets like really blown out with the color and just turns it like white or whatever. If you want to avoid that, you can just have the mesh light. There should be an option for like show original mesh, and then just like assign whatever material you want to that. And you can do a thing where you can like, I think I showed you guys light linking at one point, but you can basically say, hey, mesh light, don't affect this, or like, hey, light, don't cast a shadow. Sorry. Saying it's weird. You basically set up like 2 copies of the light, one of which doesn't receive information from the actual mesh light itself, but it just sort of shows a texture value, so you can kind of get a little bit more refinement of this area in here if you want to. If you're curious about that, you can shoot me an email, and I can go into that more. And I think it looks like, was this, the lamp was yours, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like you went through and did the smooth thing here. Yeah. Sweet. I feel like maybe, I mean, I guess it doesn't, it's like these aren't really, like this isn't your model, so it kind of doesn't really matter to me that it's like not shown in your renders. I was gonna say if you wanted to, you could, like, it seems like maybe condense your room again. Excuse me, and then you'd have a little bit like the same thing from the kitchen from a while back. You could have a little bit more visual interest without actually having to add more objects to your scene, if that makes sense. But again, totally optional, because it's not like you actually had to show off any of this stuff here.
Like the map of Skyrim, by the way. Is that the map of Skyrim?
Wait,
That looks like Skyrim.
at 100%, what is this?
No, it's not Skyrim, but it looks like
Ah, okay, sorry. I just spent like half an hour reading about like the next Elder Scrolls game and trying to figure out when it might come out. But so I got excited when that was Skyrim. But anyway, but yeah. So any other question or not questions, comments? Anyone have any other thoughts on the scene or suggestions, etc.?
I think it's really cool. You definitely have a cohesive look to it. I like how you focus more on the desks and the areas like that are just that have more interest, which is like where this person would be sitting and doing work. And I like how they just randomly have a gun on their table. I don't know why, but
It is true.
something that is interesting is that maybe fixing up like your floor and your wood textures. Perhaps I don't know if that's how the grain of like the gun would be like sideways unless it was like that. But would it typically be up and down instead of like side by side?
I think it.
The one last one had its outside, and I thought it makes more sense because like the way it's like modeled it looks like it has wings. So I thought like maybe
I don't know. Sorry. Most of the ones I see go vertically, but if you have reference to prove otherwise, then shrugs. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
And just the floor, it looks a little like blown out. Like it's just very big. That makes sense. But I mean, overall, I think the use of the renders and the composition that you used is pretty cool. I like the little wallpaper that just complements your objects. And
Yeah. One other thing I just thought of is like you could totally add a rug in here, and that would also add visual interest to the floor, should you so desire. But yeah, I think those are all valid points. I think one thing that would also look neat in this scene is some molding, or like more molding. Because I mean, you have like you've changed the texture here, like with the window and stuff, but it feels like there should maybe be something like around the window. I've never really seen a window punched in like this, or like again around the floor, kind of down here. That would also be relatively easy stuff to go in. That would add like a little bit of extra punch of detail to your scene. I do like the desk. I think the desks are, like Annie said, was like they feel I think the most complete out of the scenes. So I think one thing you might do if you're looking to sort of make the whole scene feel, I guess, a little bit more like full and cohesive is like maybe go back and add some stuff. In this case, like on the floor here, which is kind of why I suggested a rug, maybe. But like again, molding would also help with that. But like maybe add some like posters or something to the floor, and things to the walls, because like yeah, like the desks do have like really nice clutter on them, but everything else feels kind of empty. And I think you could really sort of, with a few more objects, you could really push this to be like a really cool, like complete feeling scene. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts, comments? Last go. All right. Something about this render is very satisfying to me. I don't know why. I just think it's interesting. But yeah. All right, cool. Anyone else want to volunteer the projects? Random it is. Haha. Okay. Once I get back to places. All right, I'm just gonna randomly go down, start from the bottom. All right. Furniture. Okay. And they're TIFFs. Huzzah! Most of them are TIFFs. Don't work with that. It's doing this weird thing. All right, wait for it. All right, just throw this in Photoshop. All right, so Sam, these are yours. Want to say anything before we jump into crit? Fair. Have you been fiddling with things and/or having more luck? Are they?
It's helping a little bit, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I still really enjoy the lighting in this scene. I just think it looks neat. You have like cool shadows going across stuff. But yeah, so anybody have thoughts and comments? Is the chair just like moving around in all these renders?
Some of these I was doing in the middle of the night, and so I was like going to sleep and then waking
Yep.
up to do it.
Yep.
And I hid the objects that weren't on camera, and then I forgot to show them back up. So the chair was just not in the other one. Like
Gotcha.
I had 4 chairs in the scene.
Wow. Okay. I've 100% done stuff like that before. I was just curious. All right. Cool. All right. Yeah. So, again, any thoughts, comments? All right. I'll kick it off and say I still really like this night lighting. I don't know why. I just think it looks really pretty. It looks like this light is turned on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this just like a weird? I'm wondering why it's black. If that might just be like one of those things where like the object needs to be set to be transparent or something like that.
I do not know.
Fair.
Yeah, I just kind of, because that was one of Ferris's
Yeah.
reference
Gotcha. It might be worth looking into. I can also take a look after class if like you can't figure out why it's showing up black. But yeah, because I think like that really like you have. What am I doing? Like I think you have really nice lighting in this particular scene, and like especially in this area, like the fact that you have that little lamp just sort of like hanging out on the chair, creates a really interesting effect to like have a sort of spotlight, and you see the light from it, you just like don't see the filament. So I think that would actually just be like a really cool. Honestly, you could totally, if you don't suck at Photoshop as badly as I do, you could also just like Photoshop the light in afterwards, if that is a thing. It'd be better to just render it in if you're re-rendering stuff anyway, but like, yeah. Always ways to cheat stuff like that. But yeah, so I really like this lighting. I think it's really cool. This one, I think it feels maybe a little strange to me that all of the objects keep shifting around the scene. Especially the light, since that was like kind of ended up being like kind of one of the focal pieces, where it's like now on the floor. And I also feel like maybe having it on the floor isn't really, it's like, it's not really directing the viewer's eye towards anything in particular, just except like the wall. So I feel like maybe you could just like sort of at least consider like leaving stuff where they were and just like shifting your camera angle around rather than the object so much.
I mean, I didn't shift. I just had like multiple of these objects.
Yeah.
Like everywhere, but 'cause
Gotcha.
I wanted it to look more fun than it is with some missing objects.
Oh, okay. So you were going for just like actually having duplicate objects in the scene. Okay.
So there's just like a ton of stuff just kind of lying
Gotcha.
everywhere.
I think what would help sell that is like maybe if the larger objects. I was gonna say the larger objects didn't move. It feels maybe a little weird. I think because like most of the main objects from the scene, like the chair, the light, they all sort of shift. But I don't think I saw any renders where it's like. I mean, you like mentioned you forgot to like turn this one back on, but. Like, I don't see any overarching room things where it just, like, shows the whole setup of the room at once. So I think if you had that, it would sort of help with all of the objects shown in it as duplicates. That would sort of help ground the person as, like, oh, okay, there's just, like, more of these objects than one. So that might be something worth doing. But yeah, and then I think this looks a little blown out to me.
Yeah.
Where, honestly, that might just be... I think you could just turn the intensity on your light down and then you'd probably be fine for that one. Be like a relatively easy fix for that. Yeah. Anyone else have any thoughts? Do I need to randomly call on a person?
I like the floor and the like crown molding thing.
This stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like it's really
Yeah. I do like the floor texture. It feels like a good scale. It's actually really weird. So like for some reason I think the overall color scheme looks nice. For some reason this looks like a bunch of steampunk stuff was just like put in my uncle's office. Where I feel like you almost have the opportunity, and like the door doesn't look particularly steampunky. It just feels like modern door.
And that's kind of what I was going for.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I wanted it to be like all of the stuff this guy kept from like his father and
Right.
his generations, and he's
Right.
trying to figure out why like these generations had all of this stuff, but
Yeah.
then he keeps redoing the room like around.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean I would definitely buy that it's like that is like a thing. Yeah. Cool. I also like that you actually have the backstory to like justify that decision. Because I like it does. If you're going for like steampunk in an office, like that's pretty much what you've done. Cool. But yeah, so I think like most of the stuff that at least I personally would look at. Oh, hey, double chairs. I'm a dingus. Okay. Yeah, so I think most of the stuff what I would look at is, it feels like maybe there could be some stuff on the walls, like maybe like picture frames or something, I don't know. Again, I think that depends on like the guy in the room. One thing you could also do, and this is gonna sound really stupid, but like throw in some outlet plate covers. That would also help like add interest to the wall, but also sell the idea that like this is a modern space. I always forget about outlet covers, honestly. Like, I don't know, it's like such a weird thing. But yeah, so I think like, again, most of what I would do is see if you can get one render of like the whole room, like the whole space at once. And then maybe fiddle a little bit with the daylighting to bring it a little bit back into like less overexposed territory. And then for this particular render, again, maybe like, now that you have explained things and I have seen the other chairs in your renders, I don't mind that this is like floating here. It feels like maybe though there should be some kind of emphasis on like the front of the chair as well. But yeah, and then it looks like still waiting on some day renders. Is that
yeah.
fair? Oh yeah, and then also see if you can figure out why this is black. But yeah, it also feels like, what is this? Is this desk just like a blue cube right now?
Yeah, it was like the temporary until I got after this.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Yeah, so I mean that'd be something to sub in for the resubmit, or you can always just like, if you were in a hurry, just like make a quick little desk or something. Probably something with like a wood top and like little like wrought iron legs would like fit with the scene and also be relatively simple to make if you decided to go that route. But yeah, cool. Any other thoughts, comments? All right then. Let me. Oh. All right. All right. Cool. Tiffs. Hopefully. Yay. All right. What?
I was actually just going to ask if I could volunteer whenever you're ready.
Well, huzzah. All right. Anything you want to add before we?
Yeah, so there are one or two problems that I'm aware of. The first is that, so I intended for this one to be basically, it's like an 1800s chemistry classroom,
Okay.
but it's supposed to be brand new.
Gotcha.
Like the guys moving in all the furniture and all the equipment just got out of there.
Okay.
But the one noticeable thing I would say is that the blackboard looks very used. So that was kind of supposed to just be like a placeholder texture, but I never got around to actually replacing it with like a newer looking, or at least editing it to make it look newer.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, and you mentioned in one of the previous videos that, like, for my homework, that a lot of the stools and tables and stuff like look small in the room,
Yeah.
but we couldn't figure out why. I think I figured it out, but not until like a few minutes ago. Like thinking about it, the door knob is either too high up or too low. Not sure
Wait.
if I have a clear picture of the
Door.
time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where it's like right.
Too low.
Low.
Yeah, it looks a little low.
But
I think the stools are fine though, actually, the height, because I can like sit on it and like
Yeah.
go up to like my stomach, like the table.
Yeah, I think like something about seeing it now, it feels like it doesn't feel like so like off in scale to me for some reason. I think it honestly could just because everything's like textured and sort of like complete now. But yeah, like I was looking at that and I'm like, yeah, they don't feel super weird to me at this point. I really enjoy this like test tube holder. I think it looks cool.
yeah, I kind of wish I had made that my hero object, but I just happened to model a retort flask first.
Gotcha.
So
I mean, either way, I think the flask also came out nicely. But yeah. It's also like you have some nice lighting going on with like the like in this scene you have like the bright light over here that's sort of like, hey, look at my flasks.
I like the wall texture.
Yeah. It feels like there's like certain areas like right here the bump might be a little extreme,
yeah,
but like it feels like it's a good scale and like it does sort of fit the overall aesthetic that you're going for. I do agree that is a nice texture.
Like I don't know what that's called on the bottom, molding, right? Or the
Molding?
bottom
Yeah.
mold? I like that too.
Yeah. I think the one, speaking of, all right, so since I happen to exist on this render, bump is a little pixely if you get this close to it. Easiest thing for that would be to just go, was this done with like a ramp shader? Was this done with a noisy ramp shader? Or
no,
by hand?
This was a actual bump map.
Okay,
Like the texture that is on that and the bump map came from like the same
gotcha.
texture stuff.
Yeah, so one thing you can do if you ever notice something like this, just go into Photoshop and like blur either the whole thing or like all of the edges, and that'll like fix. This is like one of my biggest pet peeves about bump maps, that just like that they do this to begin with. But yeah, a little bit of feather would usually fix that pretty nicely. But I was gonna say, it looks like somewhere, it's kind of cool night lighting. It looks like there's maybe been some like weird compression stuff, where like colors got clamped down, but honestly, I don't know what the heck causes that or how to fix it, so that's like not something that I would take points off for. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting how the light sort of like skims across the room, I think. and like you see just that little highlights on like the little retort flasks and stuff like that. Definitely a clear difference. This is a cool render.
You're inside the mortar vessel.
Weird.
Yeah.
I like it. But no, I mean, it has interesting, like you get this like interesting sort of highlight here. This is like super dark, but you get the highlights enough to like very clearly like recognize what it is. This for some reason looks like the background for X-Files to me, for like the intro. Like right at the end of the intro is just like for some reason what this reminds me of. I was gonna say, I think this is the one part of the image where maybe I would like think of swapping that out for something slightly higher resolution. Because I think out of everything in this is like the one thing, for one, it's like very, very warm when everything else is very cool. But also, yeah, it's just, it's a low res compared to everything else, so it kind of makes it like stand out.
The cheat that I found to find pictures that are
Yeah.
good is you go to a YouTube video and you screenshot it. That's what I did for my pictures.
That
I
is-
looked up a time lapse in New York City, played it, screenshot it, and I had a free HD image.
That's actually really sketchy but clever. So you can also do a thing if you go to like Google Images, if you look for tools. You can search by usage rights. You can also search by image size. So if you needed like a large image, you can, you know, put specific features or like specific filters on there and it'll bring up only gigantic images if that's what you need. I do like that YouTube thing though, that's fairly clever. But yeah, cool. I really like the night lighting in this, and it's also neat that you put like a light behind the door so you see that little like red rim underneath it.
That's just the HDRI.
Well, it looks intentional and it looks cool, so
Yeah, I noticed that. So
I take it. And what did you render this with? Okay. I thought for some reason at one point I remember you playing with Unity or something.
planning on it, but people were having a heck of a lot of trouble with it, so it's like, you know what,
Yeah,
spend myself in sweets.
that is fair. But yeah, cool. Anyone else have any thoughts, comments?
I'd argue it does look a little too perfect, if that makes sense. Everything is like at the exact same spot. I know it's new,
Yeah.
but like a little bit of like maybe having one thing turn a different way or moving one object somewhere else. It looks really nice and I really like the stool texture too. Like I could feel that. I like blowing my hand over it.
Yeah.
But that would be, I think that would help.
Yeah, I also agree with this. I'd say one of the easiest things would just be like rotate the stools a little bit. And I was also going to say the floor feels like really shiny. Where it makes sense if it's shiny, I think, to a point. But then it gets a little bit like I want to see bump maps or something in between the floorboards that help show it off. And also even if it's like a new school building, unless they like just built it, I might expect to see some like scratches on the floor from like other use and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I do think like overall the renders and stuff look really nice. But yeah, like that little bit of extra like randomness I think would help things.
I like that. I think like it has a really clean look, and it's like it's very good atmosphere. Something that can help with the class is just like some of them could have stained fingerprints on them because whoever the teacher was, they were bound to like touch those with their hands, and like even though like glass isn't like there would be some like maybe small scratches, like very tiny, exceedingly tiny, or like a lot of like, or fingerprints because oils from our hands touching other things. I think that could also help like break the look of it, but I think overall the room is very strong.
Yep, all valid stuff. All right, last comments I think we have a few more to get to, and then I want to make sure that we get to everyone. So last comments for this one? All right. Anybody out of like, I think the 3 remaining people want to volunteer their project? Cool.
AMS?
Yes, good. Let me, hiya. We almost have the same initials. Almost.
It's in the
Gotcha. God, you went EXRs on me.
Was that okay?
That's fine. No, I do.
Resubmit, I can do tips. I just.
Totally fine. I just need to open them in Photoshop. Give me 5 seconds. No, EXRs are totally fine. I do list them as one of the acceptable image formats for using as things. I'm gonna have to check.
Furniture objects are in another folder.
All the buttons.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I think it's kind of funny. All right, cool. So you've done Modern Forge?
Yes.
Is this okay?
Something that's hard to distinguish is that, like, from the night renders and the day render, there's not much of a difference, except that it's like colder.
Except that it's what?
Except that it's colder looking.
Okay.
So like the room does not brighten up at all, and I realized that.
Yeah.
But there is that.
But yeah. Cool. Any thoughts, comments from people? Hmm?
With that render, how did you pick like the old?
This one?
I did it. It was another person reminder who did it. I think it was either he mesh lighted it or like either that. I don't know. I'll have to ask him because it's like the clothes look really cool. And then he explained it really fast and I was like, yep, I did it.
Ah.
Just didn't go through.
Nice.
But
I don't know why, but I feel like the wall is not off. I don't know if it's just me.
Oh, it's definitely stretching.
100%. That seems
okay.
just.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if that's just me, but.
That was gonna be, yeah. It's a little weird.
For the wall too, I think it would be nice if you added some kind of texture to it. To like give it a bricky,
Yeah, it's kind of
Mm.
a little flat.
yeah. That would help, or like scratches on the wall, maybe they hit it with the
Like,
at some point.
or like soot here, I would buy. Also, there's like a weird like extra seam here,
Oh no.
which is you have like a big double break.
What? Wait, it's only there though. It's just.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious how that happened.
Okay.
It,
Everything's fine.
yeah.
And that fan like above the thing, is that yours?
That's my teammate's.
Okay.
But it's like it's not attached to anything, but it's like a ventilation unit for like when you keep things out you don't want to like
No,
Yeah.
they work like that.
Yeah.
I have one on top of myself. I don't think you can see the renders that well, but
Okay.
it can just like be attached to the wall.
Yeah.
just be attached.
Because like there's a vent going into there.
Right. Yeah. If you punch a hole behind it, it would function. Yeah. Watch out for cracks in your floors. But yeah. So I mean, I think your comments about like realizing the day and night lighting were really similar are valid. That'd probably be one of the first things I guess I would look at if you want to do a resubmit for this. Did your door get skinnier?
Yes.
Okay.
Got scars.
Why?
I have no idea. I think it's one of the like later files I was working on for the walls. Like I believe I made it like I edited it and then it got corrupted. So I had to
That
go
sucks.
to like my like locked-in stage,
Gotcha.
which was a lot skinnier.
I see.
I could re-edit it.
Interesting. It does. I think if you just scaled it out, it would look fine. It does look maybe a little oddly skinny. And also, like again, just with the texture of the wall, it would be nice if again it had a little bit of texture on it. But it's also in certain renders, especially this one, it's a little low res. So it might be worth trying to maybe find either a different brick texture or it feels like the scale is good, so I wouldn't necessarily shrink it down. So maybe just like if there's a different brick texture that exists, you could just swap that out.
Also, I feel like the anvil kind of, I don't know, it seems kind of flat.
This guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. I don't think the anvil in real life. Maybe use that equal way. Maybe that stuff like this to it. Over the boards. See if that's right there.
The anvil was Elliot's, yeah? Was that? Okay. Or I like the floating wood block, but I like the wood blocks. Y'all with your float and stuff. But yeah, I think one thing you could also do is maybe focus on. I like this like giant death trap of knocked over propane tanks, which are also floating, by the way. This is like so hazardous. I don't even know where to begin with this. But I was gonna say you could also maybe look into, like, you have this little sword kicking around here. If that was gonna be the main export of this forge, I don't know, whatever. But you could make. It looks like there's a little sword rack like somewhere here. Maybe like hang up the swords, or like there's like this wall here. Where you could totally I think swap the rack to here because it's more visible and you can fill it with swords, or if there's like pliers or like other random pokers and tools, or like what do they call it, bellows cram or whatever the heck it's called, that like thing where you like fan the fire. This is a modern forge, no one would use that. Sorry. I'm thinking of Princess Bride. You could like put that stuff on the wall to sort of give that like a little bit more visual interest. I do really like this like highlight thing. This would be interesting if there's a way to sort of push this down so it's like falling maybe across the objects. That would be really cool looking. This is just like, I don't know how hot these actually get. I would probably put my apron somewhere maybe by the door, or like not over a hot thing. Because I could just walk in and grab it. Is the weird thing again. I could just walk in and grab it, and then it's not going to risk catching on fire. I wouldn't need to lean across a hot thing. But anyway, and I think it also might be good. This one I think would be nice to get another like shot of the whole room itself. Because until I sort of saw all the renders and was able to like piece together where things are, I actually thought the layout was like completely different than what it was. I like the shutters. I don't know why. I think they're neat. But yeah, so I mean, I think mostly would just like twiddle with the lighting, watch for like texture stretching and stuff in the brick, and then maybe try to get some extra stuff in there if you can. Any other thoughts, comments? Cool. If anybody, I know someone mentioned they have like a 3 o'clock final. If anyone needs to like run away to get to other finals, you are welcome to wander. But only if you have other finals. If you don't, stay here. Oh God, where am I? All right, here we go. All right, so we did you. Anybody else want to volunteer the project? Cool. Okay. We're going. This is ridiculous, and I should totally know your name by now. But what is your name? Megan. Okay. It's grading. Haha. All right. Cool. Well, that took all of 10 seconds to download. I like it.
It's been mentioned that there is this, but I had an issue when I was programming another computer. The material setting just did not transfer as well. So remember, I just basic
Gotcha.
AI standard service settings.
Okay. Gotcha.
So in that one, for example, everything's so shiny.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I can take a look at that. I've like definitely had that before, where I like render stuff and my textures get all weird. So I can look at that if that was like an issue. But yeah. All right. So you were doing steampunk room again?
Yeah, but I didn't have it in it, so it's really more Victorian, I guess.
Gotcha. No, I'd buy that. It feels like a cohesive scene. Cool. All right.
I'm not sure what that's pink.
Honestly, I don't question it that much. I kind of don't hate it pink. But yeah, all right. I like that you just like put this on a rug. It looks cool.
I like the rug.
Yeah, right?
Or did you like find that on the internet?
It was the first like actually finding
On the rug. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they like.
Yeah.
Or like the little castle thing we had.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a nice touch. All right, so anyone have any thoughts or comments on renders, lighting, room layout, etc.?
I don't know if it's yeah. Because honestly, that one seemed kind of dark in the render, but I think on your screen looks. pretty
This one?
good. Yeah.
I
Your
think-
screen looks pretty good. I think just showing off
Yeah.
the
I think maybe there could be some kind of light. It might be nice to get a little bit more light. See ya. Because it does get like a little bit dark. Like the highlights on the chain are like super cool looking. The chain itself is really cool looking. But yeah, it might be nice to get like a little more detail on the desk, because as it is, it feels a little bit like it's sort of floating on blackness.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Where like it broke, like there's
Ah.
map on it. 'Cause the
Okay.
details to it, but just
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Oh, on this bit you mean?
Yeah, and on the desk.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, I mean I would say just like, yeah, make sure the textures do the things. But yeah, no, I've like I said, totally had that issue before. It's very annoying. I do like this one a lot, where you have like the cool shadows running across all your objects.
From the window.
Yeah. Also, I like that you've sort of gone with like a green scheme to this. I don't know why. I just think it's like a nice looking wallpaper.
I think, is the bookshelf supposed to be like really shiny? No.
Oh, and there were the standard surface shader settings for some reason.
Ew, gotcha.
Does have to leave.
Yeah, no problem. See. Gotcha. Yeah. So I think like most of the stuff I would look at for this scene, I'm probably just like not gonna say a whole lot about the textures since they were all kind of like going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's any specific stuff you wanted to know, like obviously let me know. But yeah, so I might once you have like the texture stuff, working the way you expect. If there's a way to go in and like grab some of these books and like shift them around a little bit to like sort of fill out these shelves, I think that'd be really good.
Yeah, there's sort of last minute.
Yeah. Yep. But this is also like, why resubmits are a thing, because you can go back and have a little extra like buffer time to kind of like fill stuff out if you want. I do like the decision to put a fireplace in. I think that's cool looking. Where am I going? Tiff. This I also really like as a just like, it's an interesting angle and.
Like the opening seems like a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, right? No, that's exactly what I was thinking. But like much more cohesive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the lighting on this looks really nice. And it looks like here the desk texture does show up. I think, yeah? So it looks like, I like the texture a lot, where you get like these scratches in here. It looks like I can kind of see where it might be tiling a little bit. But apart from that, like I think this is a really, really cool looking render. I'd also, honestly, I didn't even notice that there was nothing behind the window. It just kind of looks like it would be overexposed from like whenever you took the picture. So like, honestly,
It's fine.
yeah, like that doesn't really bother me. I think contextually, because the light is so bright here, it kind of like makes sense. But yeah, and then,
I like that too.
yeah.
It's a little dark on the bottom corner.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it gets like a little dark in here. There's like a little bit of sampling issues. I think if there were a way to like show off these handles, they look like there's a lot of cool detail in them. Maybe again, just kind of like fudge it and throw in like an extra little light somewhere for like that one render.
I still do like the light a lot.
Yeah, it's a nice rug. I also like I like that you've actually added pokers in. It always makes me happy if people put fireplaces with pokers. But yeah, I mean, I like the render angles and stuff you've chosen. I think just kind of like keep working and keep making sure the textures aren't, exploding on random computers. But yeah, looks cool. Anyone else have any thoughts? Cool. Oh, I don't know. I like the overall, like, I kind of like want to go into this office. It just like feels like a nice place with like interesting lighting. All right. Whoops. Anyone else want to volunteer the projects? All right. Going randomly then. And by random, I mean just grabbing the next zip file closest to the bottom. Because I'm feeling uncreative. All right. Oh yeah. Open my random TIFF files. Ooh. That is super weird highlight. It's neat up here though. All right. Elliot, are you here? Is Elliot here? All right. Well, let's just like scrub through these real fast, and I'll give him other feedback later. So this is the origin of the anvil, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, you can always ask him about it. Yeah, transferring textures is like always kind of like a weird. Yeah, it's like a complete crapshoot. Cool. So this is Elliot's scene. Huzzah! We've hit the TIFF.
Saving it as a Maya instead of an FPX usually helps with the.
Oh, I would usually advise usually advise just sending Maya files. It's like more convoluted, but
Because
like,
when I saved my
yeah.
stove as an FBX, the noise didn't show up. So, but then when I saved it as a Maya thing,
Interesting.
it showed up. I was like, okay.
the FBXs work great for like game assets. They do seem to sometimes be a little bit sketchy with like Arnold textures and stuff like that. What am I doing? All right, huzzah! All right, so you also have done the forges.
So something I just kind of realized is that when I brought in my group's work,
Yep.
their texture did not go in. I didn't realize that until just now.
Gotcha. Yeah, just like seeing all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all black.
Gotcha. What is it? What does this little sign say? Dad's Smithy. Oh my God. Wait. How tiny is this child to have written? Look at this, how tiny his handprints are. Weird thing. That's cute though.
I like the vines growing on the side.
Yeah. Polypaint vines?
Yeah.
Nice. I do. Polypaint has some like great features like that. But yeah, and then you mentioned you just like technical errors with the plane stuff not showing up, so fair. But yeah, so cool. I still like that you've actually gone through. I see, like with the textures not showing up. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like that you've actually gone through and like tried to do like the day versus night. Or I'm sorry, what am I saying? Because that was a requirement, doing the inside and also outside scene. But yeah, so all right. Anyone have any thoughts and comments on? This kind of looks like an egg in here.
It looks like an egg.
For like, my first thought was like, oh my God, it's an egg, and then I'm like, no, it's a light. Calm down. I don't mean that in a bad way. My brain is just doing weird things right now. Is this just like a random stock photo or? Okay. I was gonna say one thing you could do is either find a child or learn to draw like a child, which is really, really difficult. But like doodle like a family. Something about this looks really weird to me.
Yeah, I thought it was weird, but I already had the picture frame, so I was like going with it.
Nice. So I was actually, I think one thing that makes this stand out in this particular image is it's like easily the highest resolution thing in the scene. So like this is like a little low res, and like this kind of stands out because of that, which is why I was actually going to suggest you could use a child's drawing, because that would be maybe less of an issue with it being like higher res or like photorealistic right in there. I do like this is just like a stock photo. If it was me, I probably would have just put a creepy selfie of my cat with me and my cat. But yeah. All right. So I think still like the trees in the background. When you shine the light through the trees, you notice the edges of the cards a little bit. It looks like you get that like little border. Perhaps something to look into, because I totally didn't notice that on the other renders, and that's usually something I actually look for with cards. This looks like it's floating for some reason here.
Yeah, that's like, this is one of the renders I was like having trouble with
Okay.
the ramp for the ground.
Ah, gotcha.
Because, like, if you can see on the left, I kind of got it to fade into
Oh yeah, and then this is
floating.
okay. It looks like maybe you need to set it to usually like a diagonal ramp or like a center ramp or something like that. This one looks like it might be a directional like U or V ramp,
It might be, yeah.
which would potentially explain why it kind of, because it's fading a little bit here too, and then this side is totally solid. Mm-hmm. Oh, was that a just
No.
okay? Sorry. All right, yeah. I still think maybe if you could get some more of like either more of this stuff or like just some little like tufts of grass or something out here, I think that would help with the overall effect. You could also, one thing that would be cool is like add in a little walking path, or like right as you open the door, you'd get like where you step there a lot, you get like that little like mud, no grass area. Like that would be a cool thing to texture in. But yeah, and then I think just like kind of keep, I think what I would most focus on is maybe just like refining some of the existing textures. And I don't remember off the top of my head which stuff is, What?
It's 3 minutes to 4.
Three.
Sorry.
3. Oh, it's 3:30 to 5:30.
It's 3:30.
Yeah, you're welcome to just like hang out here if you want.
Oh.
You're good. Do whatever.
That's
Okay. All right. But I was so yeah. So I don't know which objects are yours or not, because I just don't remember off the top of my head. But I know the apron's yours. But like yeah. So I would like again. This desk is like a little low res. I like that you've gone through and sort of with the like cohesive like dad theme here, and just sort of like carried that through. That's a nice touch. I also like the chips on this mug. They look nice. But yeah, so like again, maybe just like keep kind of like refining some of the textures. It would be cool if you can to maybe see some like grime on certain parts of the walls. Again, like maybe like kind of right here. This particular render, like also this area feels a little dark.
This is like
Maybe this.
a lot of the objects in this one are just like black because I don't know what happened with the textures.
Ah.
And, like, go back into it.
Gotcha.
So that's probably like not helping the.
Yeah, I was gonna say this definitely looks like a texturing thing. This I think is actually just like dark shadow on the wall. But I do also like whatever is happening under here. Like that's neat. But yeah, I assume like it looks like some of this might have just been like texture funk. This kind of looks like ice cream. And then this feels like weirdly squished to me. Like what? It looks like all your boards are pretty evenly spaced, and then like these are like really mushed together.
Oh yeah.
Is that like an actual feature of the room, or is that just like the render going
I don't know.
wonky?
It might be the render, but
Okay.
it also might be the actual one. I can look into it.
But yeah, I think mostly I would just kind of keep working on the textures. If you have time, maybe like chuck some stuff on the wall.
Okay.
But yeah, just like, and part of that obviously is just like getting the stuff from your teammates to actually like show in. But yeah. As far as like day versus night lighting.
Also, I left the light. I didn't realize this until after I rendered it, but I left the light on in the shed, like for the night renders. So they're kind of hard to tell apart.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like I was scrubbing through them, I'm like I actually can't super tell them apart.
Yeah.
I think it comes across more like when you see the outdoor. But yeah, it might be interesting to like turn off that light, maybe do something a little subtler for the night lighting, I think. Or really play it up. Like you had that one for the day render, or I think it was for day where you had like that bright shine on the wall. You could just play that up and just sort of add more of that, and that would also sort of help be like, it is day, there is sun. But yeah, cool. Any other thoughts, comments? All right. Did I miss anyone? All right. In that case, final call for like questions about when anything is due, anything grading policy, stuff like that. All right. In that case, be free. Happy end of this class. Yeah.